Yo, 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 live on location. This is a first time ever event. Me and D Miles are staying our ass at home and staying safe here in Orlando. But this is the first time ever we got the girl dad vibes popping all in here. We got the first father and daughter ever NBA, WNBA duo joining us today. We got the main man, OG D Brown, Beantown legend, slam dunk contest champion, and we got his look, the Dab King, and we got his young beautiful daughter Lexie Brown of the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA, one of the best shooters in the whole wide world. Says so, Dad.
Yeah.
Y'all tune in. We appreciate y'all joining us. This is big.
5G.
Thank you all.
That was fun.
Thank y'all for being on our show. We big fans of the family. Even the TikTok videos, we all over.
Brought to you by AT&T 5G.
The first thing we always ask everybody when they come on our show, and since it's two of y'all, we'll start with ladies first. Who was the first person to bust your ass when you got to the league?
Oh man. Okay, well, I haven't been in the league for long, so I haven't really had one of those matchups yet because I haven't really played as much. But I do remember my rookie year, I barely played maybe 2 minutes a game, maybe. So I think we were in DC and we was getting we was getting busted. So of course I got to play that game. So I go in and there was a play, like an ISO play. And they kept calling it for different people. Whoever I was guarding, that's who they was calling the play for.
Oh, they were pulling you out.
I'm out here nervous. I got friends in the stands, and they're probably like, "What is she doing?" But their four called the play. Their wing called the play. It was an elbow, and I looked at my coach, and I was like, "What do y'all want me to do? I've been for 2 hours. It's snowing here. Are y'all kidding?" So yeah,
that's the first, because we ain't never heard nobody say the team. Like they was picking up the team was a
I've been sitting the whole game.
Straight up.
She got jumped in. She got jumped into the league. She ain't get a one-on-one game. She got jumped.
She didn't get the fair one. All right, Pops. So when you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Well, the 90s was no joke. I mean, anybody can say MJ, anybody can say guys like that, but the guys that we kind of forget how good they were just because there's so many superstars in the 90s. The first guy I remember when I came in, Run TMC, when they had Tim Hardaway, and Mitch. I didn't have to go out Chris Mullin, but I got them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, Tim was coming down. That's when that killer crossover came.
Right.
I was like, it was his second year in the league, so that's when he was fresh. These was good. He had that straight Chi-Town dance on me. He was getting me, and then Mitch would just take me to the post and beat the mess out of me.
And they was running. That was a fast team. They was running.
Oh, they was running. But then a few years later, I'll tell you the one guy that kind of that gave me the business the whole game. One guy was Jimmy Jackson. That's when he was in Dallas. And that's when they had Jason Kidd.
Monster Mash.
And him. So I had to pick which one I wanted. I said, man, I'm going to take Jimmy tonight, man. I don't feel like chasing Jason.
Right.
Jamal a little too big. I'll take Jimmy. So Sherman Douglas guarded Jason Kidd. I had Jimmy Jackson. He had 52, and I promise you, all 52 was on me.
You didn't know that.
I ain't even gonna lie. He gave me all 52.
Ooh-wee.
That's my OG. That is my OG Jim Jack for the 52 bird.
All mid ranges. So it's 25 2.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
I found him a few times. He might went to the free throw line 10 times, but all twos. Back then it wasn't threes. Everybody was shooting mid-range. So when you get 50, 20 of them was probably twos.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's tough.
Sorry that happened to you, Dad.
Lex, you was born in Boston, but you went to Dr. Phillips. You know, me and Q, we live in Windermere, so we know
Oh,
about
really?
Dr. Phillips.
Oh,
We right around the
Yeah,
corner from Dr.
we know
Phillips.
right
I
where
So,
that
had to
is.
beg my parents to let me go to school there. They
yeah,
were not
so
having it. I was like, that please, can I please go to
hey,
school,
hey,
please?
Dr. Phillips is the school around
Oh,
here. They
it
get a
was so
lot of
much
love.
fun. I had a great time the one
So
year I
how
was there.
how was it? How was it there? That 1 year you was there. How was it for you?
Well, I liked it. Well, when I first got there, so I've grown up in private school.
Hmm.
So I
Ah, that's
got
why you
there
had to
and I was
beg to
like,
go there.
whoa, what is happening? But I made a lot of friends, probably because I've always been like quiet. So like I was new, didn't go to middle school with any of these people. So like I was literally by myself until like basketball season started. And then that's when, everyone was like, oh, you a basketball team. I came in with some of my friends that I played AAU with though. There was 5 of us, 5 freshmen on the team, and we all got to start. And we was just whooping up on everybody. Y'all
Fab Five.
whooping it.
That
And
was y'all
Right,
first.
right.
Y'all had an undefeated season, right?
yeah.
How was that?
It-
Like to just go through a season. I ain't never had an undefeated season. I've been playing
Yeah, it
basketball
was
for a long
like
time.
it was crazy because we were all so young and we
Yeah.
just were out there having fun. Like there was no jealousy, there was no social media wasn't really a thing yet. So like we was just out there hooping and having fun with each other. Um but yeah, we got to the final four and lost. So that would suck. But that season was, that season was really, really fun.
How was that for you, D, to see her in high school, along with all freshmen go and go and be an undefeated team, and you playing ball, know how hard that is, especially you starting all freshmen, Fab Five like that. How was that for you, being a pops and a father and a fan watching that?
It was the best thing just because, you know, we were, I trained Lexie since she was learn how to dribble a ball for the first time. So to see her maturation process from age 12 when she was terrible till she worked so hard. Like you talk about somebody who built their game. Obviously, her shot kind of separated her from everybody else where she can, outshoot a lot of people on any level, even in ninth grade. So to see her go from a private school environment where she basically started in eighth grade on a varsity team in private school and then go to a public school, Dr. Phillips is huge. You're playing 8A. Like,
Yeah,
you know about concentration in Florida. 8A,
yeah,
them schools are huge. All the Miami
yeah.
schools, all the Jacksonville schools. So for her to go down the environment and see her go through a public school situation with all freshmen, all the work and arguing and fussing and fighting. I'm
Yeah.
quitting and you don't love me. I'm like, well, you know what?
I
You're
let
gonna,
me
you
ask.
gonna, you gonna, you're gonna love me down the road when this all
Yeah,
pays off. So I think
Hey.
that was the first time it paid off, in ninth grade, where she's kind of like part of a championship environment where she's like, this is fun. Like whatever work I got to do to get back to this every year I play, that's what I want
this
to
is what
do.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Lexi, you played in Dr. Phillips, then you transferred to a Georgia school.
Hmm.
How was that leaving so much success y'all had that 1 year and then going to a whole nother state and finna start the whole process
Yeah.
over that you just did? Like, how was that?
Well, that summer before that, I think I started playing on an AAU team in Georgia, in Atlanta. So that whole summer, I saw how much better the girls were in Georgia versus how they were in Florida. So we had that year in Florida, and then we just kind of made the decision like, okay, we probably, because we just kept traveling back and forth. Every weekend we was in Atlanta, driving, flying. So we kind of just decided to just pick it up and go. Because Georgia basketball for girls, when I was in high school, was out of control. Like the region I played in, we had 3, 4 WNBA players right
Yeah.
now. So we just decided that we had to pick it up and move. And one of the girls that I played high school with, they went to, or I played AU with, they were at Norcross High School. And they had been like just winning titles, like boys and girls.
Yeah.
And that's where I was supposed to go. But my friend, she ended up leaving that high school. So then we kind of were like stuck, like, oh no, where are we going to go? So we ended up at this school called North Gwinnett.
Yeah.
I hadn't won a game in like, who knows how long. And we got there and we were like, hey, we here, so let's get some
Let's
popping.
make the best of it.
Yeah.
I hope you don't take this as disrespect. Did you give her the jumper you always wanted to have?
I did.
Okay.
No, she been shooting the ball like that since she was young. Like,
Yeah, I
I
watched the
couldn't do
game.
anything else. I really did not. I couldn't. Nah.
Like my jumper didn't get like that until like later in my career when the game started to change.
Slow down.
And I couldn't jump like I used to before.
Right.
So I had to reinvent my game. Like, you know what? I ain't getting to the cup and jump over people like I used to. So I got to make sure this jumper get real nice. So I kind of, perfected and, 1 year led the league in threes. So my jumper did evolve, but hers has been like that since day one.
Straight up.
I tell people all the time, whenever you spend a long time, like most people you see guys that's been in the league 10 or more years, they all got better at shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at a guy like VC. Vince Carter came in as half man and half amazing, and then he ranking somewhere in 3-point makes and all of this other crazy stuff because all that gym time we get too much gym. Yeah, Jay Kidd is a crazy example.
He's top 5 when he retired. Everybody like, he can't shoot. Like, wait a minute. Well, he can make again, it's just evolving your game based on, making sure that you could, stay in the league and be productive. That's what guys are doing now. You make open jump shot, you can keep a job in the NBA now.
I didn't know you was from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
Like, you from Duval County? Duval County?
Right.
I didn't know you from How was it your high school days growing up in Jacksonville and, just doing the whole process? Because you went to college in Jacksonville, too. So you didn't never leave.
I went to a private school as well, and a small private school in Jacksonville. And the funny part was when I was at my high school, it was called Bowles High School. It was known for a lot of Olympic swimmers more than anything. Some baseball players and really no basketball players at all. And when I was a senior at Bowles, Chipper Jones was a freshman at my high school.
Chipper.
So
wow. Hall of Famer.
For the Braves, Hall of Famer. So that was really the two biggest athletes at that time as far as just regular, professional sport athletes. And it was, listen, I was the only African-American, I was the only black kid in my senior class. Yeah, like I was it, and so, we talk about, the race issues, things going on right now. I experienced just, and learned so much about myself and, other cultures, other, races just by being at that school. Yeah. And the basketball part was kind of a way where, like, sports brings everybody together, no matter what color you are, what nationality you are. Sports always kind of brings everybody together where you just kind of take that out of the way and you do something together as a whole. So that kind of helped me learn a little bit more about myself. But I wasn't highly recruited. Like I was on McDonald's All-American. I wasn't, we call it Street and Smith, like we had back in the day. Street and Smith.
Hey, there you go. Street
and Smith. The black and white pages. Then them black and white pages. I know what you're talking about.
I understand, like the people, like the guys who were, me coming to high school was Derek Coleman, Mark Macon, guys like that up north. Michigan, Chicago guys, Tim Hardaway, Kendall Gill, like all those guys were my day. So I just stayed home. Like I wasn't thinking no offers at all coming out of high school. I just kept grinding. I said, I'm gonna work.
Right.
And then we would play big schools. We played like the North Carolinas and the Virginias, and I'll drop 30. Like, who's this kid from this old small school dropping 30? And work my way up the draft board that way by just keep working and got drafted, in the first round just because I didn't care who the competition was. I didn't care where you played at.
Play hard and compete.
It didn't matter. I just, listen, we going head up. You rank higher than me. I'm looking at the papers like, oh, okay, I remember you. I got to give you something so everybody knows. So that's kind of my story in Jacksonville because Florida's a football state.
Right.
There's a lot of basketball players that come out of Florida. It's all football. So for me to come out of Florida nowadays, a lot more basketball players. For me to come out in Jacksonville, and really ain't too many other basketball players out of Jacksonville other than me, Otis Smith, like Artis Gilmore,
Artis Gilmore.
That's really
Artis Gilmore.
That's crazy.
You speaking on McDonald's game, Lexie. You made the McDonald's game. Me and Q had the opportunity to make that game.
In McDonald's.
But I know, like, you know, all the hard work, the rankings over the years, and like that McDonald's game, you know, you watch it every year and it's like solidified, like you one of them if you make that game. How was it for you? What was the experience like, and what did it mean to you to make that game?
Yeah, it was so fun. So like when we were in high school in AU, like we just had our tournaments and we had like these little camps sometimes and we would just be staying in Georgia. So like when we got to Chicago for the game with like all that extra stuff,
Yeah.
like what? There's cameras. We had like a little lounge area. Like we had all the gear
Yeah.
and stuff. So like us, the girls, we're like freaking out about it. All the guys are like, this is what I like. We do this every summer. Like this is what our kids are like. And we're like, well, this would be nice, but it was so fun. Getting to meet girls from all over the country. I already knew most of them from playing against them. Going to the Ronald McDonald House was so amazing. That was probably my favorite day. And then the game, like, you know, I was just there for the gear, honestly. So I let them do whatever they wanted to do.
I still got my McDonald's gear to this day.
Everybody took my stuff. I got spandex and that's it. I don't have nothing else.
Tell me this: at what point, like, did it click for you, like where you started to go from, all right, you just doing whatever, to like where everybody started to come recruiting, and then like you getting this major attention where you being ranked and all of that stuff? What year was that for you? Sophomore, junior? When did it like click where it's like, oh man, like I'm probably gonna be all right at this little basketball thing?
Probably ninth grade. So I committed early. So I committed when I was in ninth grade to Maryland. So that whole recruiting circus, like I didn't really want to deal with that. But I went to an elite camp the summer before my sophomore year, and I don't know what got into me. Dad, you were there with me, right? Oh no, I freeze. Oh, okay.
He froze.
Dad.
Hey, it looked like you just like.
Hey, come on, bro. And I don't know what got into me, but I like just killing everybody at the camp. So I think at that moment I was like, okay, like once I get in this type of mode, you know, I can be the player I want to be.
Like, could it have been anybody else than Maryland?
At that time, no. That's where I wanted to go.
What about when they got close to you, since you committed so early, when they got close, almost end of the time, and I know you getting better and better and better. Like, it wasn't nobody that intrigued you.
That was loyalty. She stayed down.
It wasn't nobody with the money under the table or nothing.
We don't deal with that. We don't deal with that.
I know, I was just...
But they switched conferences when I was still in. They made that announcement. Like we signed our letters, and literally the day after, they were like, "Oh, Maryland's going to the Big Ten," and we were like,
"Oh."
But even if I heard that news before, it still would have been Maryland, because we had a year in the ACC, and then I was like, you know what, I can just at least try the Big Ten. Yeah, I hated, but.
Your freshman year, y'all went to the Final Four to like get right in college. You know, you loving the scenery, loving being by yourself, living the college life, and the success is coming on the court. How was that year to make it to the Final Four and just you knocking everybody else? You ran to that almighty, you know, that almighty, but
yeah,
like,
right.
how was that?
So it was fun because the team, so I was on the team with, I think we had 5 or 6 seniors. So they had been like Sweet 16, Elite 8. Like they were getting so close, and they just couldn't like get over that hump. So to be able to be one of the keys to help them get over that hump, it was me, and there was 3 other girls who came in with me, and we like just brought this like new energy to the team. So it was just really fun. You know, we got there as a 4 seed. So we knocked down some giants in the tournament on the road too. So it was really fun. It was a great experience.
Tell me about the nickname you gained that year.
Oh, what was it? The Big Shot.
Big Shot.
That's one of D Miles' favorite questions. About, go ahead, ask your questions about the nicknames, bro.
I haven't hit a game winner or a buzzer beater, but I hit like very timely shots. I hit them like back-breaking shots. Like
okay.
And like I hit a 3 or something. Like those are the shots I was hitting. But when I can hit a game winner, you know, I've never hit one in my life. So
but them shots to basketball players. To basketball players, them shots really do matter. You know what I'm saying? They ain't always got to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hit the shot. Sometimes it be them last 30 seconds or that last minute. You know what I'm saying? It might be one shot made the last two minutes, and that one shot, you get it. So we take them as
teams. Like
we take them too.
Dang. Like I like those shots more, honestly. I really do.
What made you transfer though?
Well, like I said earlier, the Big Ten, it just wasn't for me. Just the locations I didn't really love. I didn't have any family in any of the places. It was cold.
Yes, it is.
So cold. I just didn't have I've always dreamed of playing at like the UNCs and at Florida States. Like I'd never I can't wait to go play in Iowa or Wisconsin. Like that was nothing that like we didn't grow up in that. Like we didn't watch Big Ten in the house. Like that we didn't like that just wasn't something that we did. But my mom and dad too. They were like very keen on me going to a school that was going to challenge me academically as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to the ACC. So Duke kind of was just the obvious choice.
Yeah. Pops, like how many workouts you went through during the like draft process?
Especially coming from a small school like that. I know they probably had you all over the place.
Did you work out for everybody?
Hold on, our draft process was so different than it is now. Like I remember I think I went on 5, and it was crazy because the best workout I went on when I went to Houston Rockets. So Rudy Tomjanovich was a coach, and my homeboy Vernon Maxwell was on the team from Florida, and my draft workout was this. They were playing summer pickup ball, and all the guys were there, and we were in the old Summit where they used to play.
Yeah, old Summit,
Yeah, and they was playing in there. And my draft workout was, hey, the veterans, y'all pick teams. These are guys who we might be drafting, and they pick teams. We hoop. That was it. We hooped for 3 days. I was there for 3 days in Houston for 3 days playing pickup ball. That was my draft workout. We didn't do no drills. We didn't go to no interview. It was like, go hoop. And that was it. And then,
listen.
And then I went to Detroit, and they were still the champions. So, they had, their chest was all out.
Bad boy.
Joe Dumas had to work out. They showed me their rings because that was their second ring. They're like, second ring. We the champions. And all we did was play one-on-one, full court for 2 hours. I remember Lance Blank was there, Brian Oliver was there, and we just played one-on-one the whole time, nothing else. That was it. So that was really the teams I worked out for the least is the team I got drafted by, and that was the Celtics.
I had the opportunity to spend 2 months in Boston and to try out for the team at the end of my career, so forth on. And I tell people this to this day, like the Celtics organization, it's like it's something in the air. When you walk in the gym, you walk in the practice gym, you see the stains on the banners, how old it is and so forth on. It's something in the air, something in the city. To get drafted by the Boston Celtics, I know you watched all them rivals from the Lakers and Boston, and you probably wanted to go to the Lakers, but it definitely. But to even get drafted by a historic franchise like that, how was that for you?
Well, that was the best feeling. Well, I couldn't ask for a better situation to go to, being a young player, going to a veteran team that was, we had a chance to win the championship that year, but Larry hurt his back later in the year. A few years before that, Len Bias had passed away.
Yeah.
Reggie Lewis was still on the team. That's when he was emerging as a superstar player. Then he passed away 3 or 4 years later. So I was booked in my career between a great player who might have been one of the greatest ever playing, Lenny Bias, and another guy who was really an up-and-coming superstar in Reggie Lewis. That was tough. And then the retirement of the big three, the original big three,
right?
Paris, I played with them guys. So it was 5 guys that I got a chance to not play with for a long period of time because of retirement or untimely death. But it was great being there. Like you said, all the history, all the banners, every practice. It was literally 8 to 10 Hall of Famers every practice.
Right.
Red, Seth Sanders, Casey Jones, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, Tommy Heinsohn, on top of the 3 I playing with.
Yeah.
So you can never ever like say anything like I'm tired or I don't understand what y'all doing. What are you talking about? It's 16 banners above your head, young fella. Like you got
can't disrespect the game up in there.
There's rings here. There's Hall of Famers here.
How was that ever intimidating in any sense? Like to be like up close and personal, like every day on an everyday basis. I mean, I would imagine at some point you kind of get used to it, but I mean, like when you first get there to know you walking into it, you think you going to a regular practice and like you say you about to see all these Hall of Famers and you looking around like what is going on?
Yeah, it was crazy because I played in the old Boston Garden. The things you see on TV on CBS. With the old guard and it's hot in here, they turn the heat off. I went in that building, I all the dead spots. Like Darius said, it's just something in the air that when you get there, it just becomes a part of your soul, becomes part of who you are. And you figure out, the short shorts, we was the last team to have NBA socks. Like we had we was the last, we had to wear black shoes with white shoestrings. Like we had all the old traditions.
Right.
It was just unbelievable to be able to be around those guys in that franchise. And I think it matured me as a player earlier just because of just the greatness that was in the building.
So now your baby girl is about to get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cry in the other room or did you let it all out? Cause now
hey man, hold up, bro. Let me correct you. He ain't cry, bro. His allergies started acting up. If at all, it was his allergies acting up.
This is your baby, and she playing this game that you love, and now she finna get drafted to the WNBA, and it's like the same process of what you went through. You know what I'm saying? How was that for you?
It was. I was more nervous in her situation than my situation, just because again, being a dad, and you want to make sure that the first thing we like any guy or any girl in a draft, the first thing you want to do, man, I hope they invite me up here. I want to get drafted. Like that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's the first thing we talked about. Like they invited you here. There's only 12 WNBA teams.
Yeah, I know that.
So if they invite 10 people, boy, that's a small ratio that you might not get called.
Yeah, that's
right. All we cared about, we didn't care where she got drafted. Like, just make sure we can get drafted while we up here. Like, that's the first thing. The next thing was, just you start reminiscing of all the hard work and just her career in high school, going to Maryland, 2 Final Fours, going to Duke, being an All-American, and getting to Sweet 16s there, and being the first player to be an AP All-American in 2 universities. Like things that she did, I never did in college. She was so much better college player than I was. And the accolades she had, just to see all of it come together and be able to sit there as a father.
Get rewarded.
And then, hear your name get called, her name get called. You heard me, I said we. Well, her name get called.
You're right. Look, you're right.
we got drafted that day.
We've been through that before with our parents. But just a unique situation where being like, one of the first people to have, a father-daughter combo to be drafted in the first round. Like that's amazing. That's history. That's special. To me, that's more than anything because, we were one of the first to do it.
Yeah. Lexie, for you, like, how was it to get drafted? All this work you did in high school, all these different schools you done hopscotch too, did back and forth. Like, how was it to get drafted and finna be going there with the peers, the girls you look up to, the girls you watch their game? How was it for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like he said, we just spent most of the day reminiscing on like all the hours we put in together. And then when my name was called, we kind of just like looked at each other and were like, it was worth it. Like we did it. So, being invited to the draft was like, being drafted was a goal of mine, but also being invited to the draft was a goal as well. So to be able to be there. And then for us, it just all happened so fast. We had just lost in the Sweet 16 like 10 days before the draft.
Yeah, that turnover is quick.
Something like that. So I had a good feeling that I was going to get invited, but I didn't get the official call until maybe a week before the draft. So it was kind of throwing everything together. I was still in school. I still had like maybe a month left of school. So, it was just kind of putting everything to the side just for a day or two, and just go up there and enjoy the moment.
So let me ask you this, right? You had draft day. Now you over the anxiety. Well, let me go before that. Before that, when you get the call that you going to the draft, you getting invited, were you more anxious or did you have anxiety about where you were going to get picked or what you were going to wear? Which one was worse?
Where? What do they expect us to do? My hair, my makeup, like all that.
Exactly. Got to get everything. Like that.
You on national TV. You got to make sure everything
Pop's worried about where we going to land and what is the right fit. And she over here like, nah, I got to get the dress, my hair. I
said, Mom, we got to find a dress. Get to looking.
So your first year, you know the coach really ain't finna play you that many minutes. So what did you learn your first year that made you better for your next year with the Lynx?
Well, first thing was you got to handle all situations with grace, because you never know what's gonna happen. Rookies don't really get traded this fast. So like at the end of the season, when we had our conversation, our like end of season meeting or whatever, my coach basically told me that he was impressed in the way that I handled the season, and that I remained one of the hardest workers on the team. Like, even though I knew I probably wasn't going to get in the game, he was like, I appreciate you always being in the gym. You come early, you stay after, like things like that. I had moments where I probably could have handled situations a little better than I did, but for the most part, I was a really good teammate. The fans loved me on the bench. Like, I was always doing the most. I just wanted to make sure that, like, as annoyed and upset I was on the inside, I didn't ever want to
rub it off on your teammates.
That, and I didn't want to bring bad energy. So at the end of the season, when we kind of said it but didn't say it, but it was kind of like, you're not going to be here next season. I was like, I know, I don't really want to be here no more. It was like kind of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he made it happen, which, he did not have to do that. He could have just waved me. So, I'm grateful that he made that move for me, for sure.
Pop, what made you join the dunk contest? Like, what made you get into the dunk contest? Because a guy that's your size, you're not getting as many dunks as all the bigger guys. And a lot of people can't get the opportunity to see you dunk as much. So what made you choose to go? Because I still got my Reeboks in the closet. I'm a Jordan guy, but I still got my pumps up in the closet now.
There it is.
What you mean? Tell him, D, outside the fact that you had crazy bounce, like outside the fact that you had crazy bounce, what else made you do it?
But still, you got them other guys, and sometimes that's intimidating.
Funny part about it was, again, Celtics don't dunk. Like Larry Bird, Robert Perry, they barely dunk. They are tiptoeing, dunking. So basically the team started to change. So it was me, Reggie Lewis, Brian Shaw, Kevin Gamble. So we're the young backcourt playing with the old front court. So I would get a lot of dunks during the games, and people were like, wow, this young kid can dunk, boom, boom, whatever. And I was really a late addition. Like, I wasn't in an original 8 in the dunk contest. People knew I could dunk. I had some dunks during the game. People were impressed by, but they kind of went back to the dunk contest I did in college and say, hey, a couple people dropped out. So, hey, you want to be in a contest? So I got into the dunk contest in like 2 weeks before, All-Star weekend, because a couple of people dropped out, got hurt, whatever. So I really initially wasn't part of the original 8. But I knew once I got in that 8, I had a really good chance. I knew I had some stuff that nobody had did before.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting the last dunk. That last dunk, the no-look dunk, that was the first time I ever did it. Like, I made that.
They call it dab. This era call it the dab. So.
Yeah, that's called dab.
So you dabbing in the air now.
Hey, look, for real, Brown been dabbing forever. Then.
1991. But I made that dunk up right on the spot. Like, I never practiced that dunk. I never did it before. So I was like, man, I hope I make this, whatever I'm doing.
So tell me what in that moment did you pump up the shoes to tighten them up, or was you just doing that for the dramatic effect? What was it? Was you doing it for the build up? That was the show, right?
Yeah, well, hold on. Like that, people like, oh, you kind of like the godfather of the dunk contest because you was the first one to do like a show before. Like, now people coming out of phone booths, choirs coming out. We could use props back when I did. We couldn't get over cars and jump over people. That was like, our insurance was not good in the 90s. So they're like, you ain't from nobody. You got to do what you got. You don't need no teammate to help you. You got to have 8 dunks to win this contest. And you miss, you was out. So it was more just to get the crowd into it because the dunk contest was in Charlotte. And Kendall Gill was in the dunk contest who played for the Charlotte Hornets.
Right.
And Rex Chapman was in dunk. Both playing for Charlotte. So they had like the home court advantage. I'm like, I got to get the crowd on my side.
Right.
So Reebok I already had a Reebok contract already. They didn't know I was going to do that. They had no clue. And when I did it, they were like, what? Oh, like everybody was like, oh, what's he doing? Pump shoes up, boom.
Time out. Did your price go up after that? Please tell me your price went up because that alone, that's what blew up the whole Reebok pump evolution. It was like, y'all seen the dude that was D Brown, he pumped up the Jones. Like the price had to go up after that.
It's called life. You get a life. Like you still Reebok for life.
Life,
right?
Straight up.
So I'm still a Reebok fan to this day.
That's salute to them for doing that. That's the way it's supposed to be. Real talk.
Like when I left Jordan, I signed with Reebok. The first shoe I asked for was them pumps. And I still got them same pumps. I got nothing but Jordans in my closet, one pair of Reeboks and this pump.
Y'all like the original Jordan brand dudes. Well, I remember y'all when y'all came in. I said, Knuckleheads got the fresh Jordans. I can't wear all of
them. Lex, you get traded to the Lynx. They was winning championship after championship, so much star power, Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, all this stuff. And you get there and it's like a whole new vamp. It's a whole new thing. How was that for you? Because like y'all still had that winning culture, even though y'all didn't have the monsters that y'all was having before. But how was that to come in and just step into a role and just fit in perfectly?
It was everything I expected. Because when you're a player in the WNBA and you think of an organization that is like the top of the top, you always think of the Lynx. From the management, ownership, all the way to our training staff and like video coordinators. Like everyone is like on their stuff all the time. So getting there, I was like, oh, I'm excited to play with Maya, and they're like, oh, she's not coming back.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like, what you mean she's not coming back? Like,
yeah.
So she was doing her thing. I get there. Lindsay Whalen had just retired. So she wasn't really around. Simone, she was dealing with an injury, so she didn't really get to play last year. So really it was like a whole new group. It was just us and Sylvia Fowles, and she was looking at us like, all right, y'all, let's go. Like,
let's go.
I'm here for y'all. Like, I'm Mama Sil. Like, we all call her Mama Sil because now, like, the team went from, like, being one of the oldest. Now we're, like, one of the younger team, one of the younger groups. And, last year was kind of just a learning experience. Our team, we dealt with a lot of injuries and stuff like that. Like, we started off way better than people expected. That wall hits, people start getting hurt. Tired, there's only 12 teams, so everyone gets to know each other. We're getting scouted like crazy. But my role on that team was to shoot the ball. And the Lynx have always been known as a 3-point shooting team. So for me to come in and be that on a team that's not what they usually do, that meant a lot to me. So I took that role very seriously. And all I did was shoot. And Cheryl put me in the game, Coach Reed put me in the game, and she was like, if you don't shoot the ball, you're coming out.
Yeah.
So,
hey, that's music to a player's ears. To seriously, like to be told, if you don't shoot, you coming out. Like, don't threaten me with no good time. Like,
no, there was not one moment in the game where she came over and was like, Lex, that was a bad shot. Not one time.
That's awesome.
So it was great.
I felt like when I watched y'all play last year, I felt like you and Carly like stepped up so big for that team. Y'all was like key pieces. You know what I'm saying? She stepped up and big, win Rookie of the Year. You was stepping up big, hitting big shots coming off the bench. Like I thought y'all had a good overall team. To lose your superstars, have Mama Fouls in the back. I felt y'all did a great job last year because you know the odds was against y'all.
We was just out there having fun. And yeah, Fee is a monster. She's like one of the best players I've ever played with.
And she from the Lou, you know, it's Lou
okay.
representatives, you know how we do. You know how we do.
Literally do everything.
I thought you was from East St. Louis though.
Yeah, it's got Lou on the back of it, don't it? Only got St. Louis in it. As long as it got St. Louis in it, that's my whole area right there.
She from Missouri, you from Illinois.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
We represent us now. Stop hating. But what you were saying, she can do everything?
Literally. And then I think we kind of struggled a little bit. We lost our 4-man. So Fee was playing at the 3. And then she had to move to the 4. So, that kind of took her out of her element. She had to start guarding bigger players and things like that. But she held her own. She ran away with that Rookie of the Year award. Like it wasn't even close. So I'm really excited. We've been in here working out. I've been watching her. I think she grew. So I saw her the other day and I was like, did you grow? Like, what the hell? You can't be growing still. But we're just really excited, to get back out there. And again, we have a whole new group all over again. But I think this is going to be the group for a while, hopefully.
Coming up, like, who's the women that you've seen and you was like, man, I wanna shoot like her. I want to dribble like her. These are the women I want to be like.
My favorite player, she's the reason why I wanted to go to Maryland, was Christy Tolliver.
Christy Tolliver.
Okay.
Love Christy Tolliver.
Girl, yeah. She was the reason why I went to Maryland.
Man, that's dope.
She's still in the league now, which is crazy to even think. So
and coaching.
Like
your idols become rivals,
she pulled up to a practice at Maryland once. I can't remember if it was my freshman or sophomore year, and I almost lost my damn mind in the middle of practice. And then she came to the Final Four, and so like at that point I was like calm and normal.
Yeah.
And then we played. I wasn't playing Connecticut, but then last year they came here for a practice for our preseason stuff, and we practiced together. And she was guarding me, and she like was just smiling at me because she's like, "See, I knew you would find your footing in the league and stuff." So like that moment, I have a picture of it actually on my Instagram.
That's dope. That's dope.
That's dope.
It was so cool.
Pops, who did you come up like admiring and you seeing their game and like I want to patent my game or be like them?
It was a couple people. I think one of the guys that I think doesn't get enough credit of how good he was Isaiah Thomas. Chicago owned original Isaiah Thomas. Zeke, like
yeah.
OG. Shit.
Yeah, OG Isaiah Thomas. Like he was my OG. And the way he handled the ball for his size, small guard, tough, played through injury. That's remember that game, when he was against the Lakers, we had all them points on a bad ankle.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff you remember. I mean, I want to be like that. Like I want to be able to come down and just and give it something. Get it 6 feet. And then the reason why I picked number 4 when I was in college was because of 2 guys. One was Joe Dumars, who's running mate, and the other guy was Ron Harper. Like Ron Harper was my guy. Like I always like everybody loved Jordan. I love Ron Harper just because everybody loved Jordan.
Yeah,
and Harper do the same dunks. Harper do the same dunks. That's watch Ron Harper and try to mimic all his dunks in college. And that's why I wore 4 in college because I love Joe Dumars because of his professionalism and his defense. But Ron Harper, before he hurt his knee, he was
Clipper Ryan Harper. Clipper Cavs and Clippers Ryan Harper.
Yeah.
Go work.
That was a dude I kind of like looked up to. Those 3 guys kind of paired my game around a little bit.
You mentioned him earlier, and I was a big fan of his. I thought he was getting better and better every year too. He started making all-star games and all that. I just want you to, just for the fans and viewers, because you never really hear him be talked about a lot, and that's Reggie Lewis. Like, can you speak up on him and speak up like how good a teammate, how good he was finna be, the direction he was going in his life?
Yeah, I mean, he was coming to his own. Like, again, you know, with Lenny passing away, that kind of took some years off Larry Bird's career. And then Larry kind of worn down. And then the one year that Larry got hurt, when that was my rookie year, that's when Reggie really started coming to his own, average like 18, 20 points a game, carrying us when Larry was hurt. And I played with Reggie for 4 years before he passed away from the heart attack. But he was never talked a lot, but he was one of the few dudes that I seen block Michael's fadeaway. He blocked it 3 times in one game, and he was long. Mike wouldn't guard him. They put Pippen on him because he could shoot over Mike. I'm not saying he's better than Mike, but he was just a tough matchup for Mike. They had to put some more length on him, and it's not a comparison because the game is different. But if you look at the way Kevin Durant plays and shoots the ball, that's how Reggie Lewis, same number. Every time I see Kevin Durant play,
same number and everything.
35, man. I know KD has a different reason for somebody that passed away that was close to him. But every time I see the same build, KD's a lot taller. Reggie's like 6'7", but he could play both ends of the court. I remember this one series. We were playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round. And that's when they had Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance, Gerald Wilkins, Craig Elo. And Craig Elo was like the defensive stopper. So this was the second round we were playing against them. So they matched up Craig Elo against Reggie. And Larry was kind of out. He wasn't really playing. So Reggie was the guy. So game 1, Reggie had 41, Craig Elo had 0. Game 2, Reggie had 37, Craig Elo had 0. That dude right there carried us in the series against 5 Hall of Famers on that team, 4 Hall of Famers. He was good. Like, he was good. Like, you hate to see him pass away so early in his career and, leave his wife and, his 2 kids who I still talk to this day, Reggie Jr. and Regina. So I'm always in contact with them all the time. We, talk a lot on Instagram, stuff like that. So I still stay close to the families because he was such a dear friend, like a big brother to me when I was in Boston.
Let me ask y'all this. Who's the best basketball player in the Brown family?
Me.
He said that quick.
Oh, that's an easy answer.
Who is it?
Man.
Me.
Okay. So you still running? You still running? Oh, you running the jump? Yeah, right now. Who's the best player in the Brown family? Right now.
Lexie.
Thank you.
Are you gonna give it to her now?
Now?
No, y'all said it. Hold on. The question was, who's the best basketball player in the Brown family? You ain't say when. In my prime and her prime, me.
Okay.
I'm yet though. So
She's like, I ain't even got there yet.
It's not there yet.
Hold on. Here's the thing. We played one-on-one game against each other, right? And she was younger. She remembered this game. And she had one chance to win. And she missed the layup.
Oh, right? Bunny?
Scored. Ain't played her since.
Oh, you did right, Pop. You did right. You doing right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You're getting too close.
I'm undefeated forever.
Forever. Never go back again, ever.
So when y'all was all together, that means it was TikTok time. Cause like I got my 4 kids now, and they try to TikTok me to death.
Oh, man.
Pops, I heard it was your idea to do all the videos. Is that true?
No, he would just make fun of us from the side, and then he felt left out.
Listen, I did one TikTok video, and that was with. I did a cameo on another one, but I don't do that. I'm over 50 years old. There's cute. Like, I ain't got time for all them dancing. It's too long.
Listen,
hurt my knee, my hips start hurting.
I used to be a dancer, but I can't even get these dancers to do that. Like the old school dance, I used to hit all that, but not these days. The wall and all that, I can't even do all that. No.
Listen, I refuse.
Carol Baskin. That's the only one I like. Carol Baskin. That one, I like that one. They start doing I'm a Savage at Beyonce.
I vowed that you was not about to catch me doing no TikToks at no point I'm not about to go nowhere near that insane. You're not about to see me standing here with my wife being flip and I got her clothes on and she got mine on and I'm talking about some. No, bro. I was like, no, sir. No flip the switch challenges. No love. No, none of this stuff. I'm cool.
No woe, no woe or nothing.
Bro, I ain't got none of that action for you, bro. I'm not participating. I'll sit there and look at somebody and laugh the whole time.
Lexie, who is your favorite, not your top 5, but your favorite 5 women's players?
Christy, Diana Taurasi. Who else did I like watching? Shannon Johnson. So Pee Wee Johnson. She was my favorite, and my dad coached her in Orlando, and she was like my bestie. I was little, so she became my favorite. Della Dawn for sure, even though she's still in the league, busting our ass. You know, I play her game is incredible.
She like Dirk out there. She stanky leg.
Watching her play, I'm just like, how are you playing like this? And then I've always loved Simone Augustus as well.
Love Simone, bucket getter.
Yes.
Bucket getter.
Funny as hell.
Yeah. Pops, your favorite 5 NBA players?
Oh man, I hate this question because it's how it is. I'm very biased. Obviously, I'm gonna go with Jordan 1, and it's not in order, but Jordan 1, then I'm gonna do everybody else just because I just hate that debate. It's just because I played against Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Magic, and Bird. I didn't get a chance to play against them. I didn't get a chance to play against. And you can see they're all guards and kind of small forwards. Like, listen, I always pick people I had to either guard or didn't want to guard.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't get a chance to play. I retired the year LeBron came in. Mm-hmm. I got young Kobe when he was, his part of his first 3 championships. God rest his soul. And then play with Larry Bird. Had to guard Magic. If I had to put one more in there, it would probably be Isaiah Thomas. He'd be like 5, like number 6.
5B.
Yeah. But those would be the guys because I played against them. Except for LeBron, just because he's just a different thing. He's just so different than everybody else. Like he's the most, I'm saying. Not because of the way he plays, just because just his longevity, his health, his, things he do on the court, off the court, same thing you say with Jordan. Like, as good as he was a basketball player, the things he transcended, like the things, like to be international, like to me, that's part of being a professional athlete, not being able to just go, score 30 points a game and whatever. You got these other things you got to bring to the table to be considered like all time. Like,
to be mentioned with them greats, you got to definitely do everything.
And you got to win championships.
Straight up. We play this game on her sometime called Start Bench Cut. So Lexie, I'm gonna start with you.
Trying to get you in trouble, Lexie. Beware.
I'm gonna start with you, Lex. Start Bench Cut. Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Simone Augustus.
Oh no. I'm gonna start DT. I'm gonna bench mine. I'm gonna cut Moan. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And look, hold up before D Miles go to D. I want to ask Lexie one more start, bench, and cut. Now we gonna go. This is gonna put you in a real scenario. This is we gonna go with the smaller dunk contestant winners. We gonna go with Pops. We're going to go with Nate Robinson, and we're going to go with Spud Webb, start, bench, cut.
Oh, I'm starting that, obviously.
Look.
I'm going to bench Spud Webb and cut Nate Robinson.
Oh, Nate going to be sick. Nate going to be like, I got cut. You might get, Nate might hit you on social media about that. Like, what? How you going to cut me?
Like, I'm not, don't buy my pillow no more.
All right, Pop, start, bench, cut. We got Zeke, we got Isaiah Thomas, we got Magic Johnson, and we got Oscar Robertson.
Oh man.
Ooh, the big O.
Man, man. Who was number 2? Who was number 2?
Man.
It was Magic,
Okay,
Isaiah, and Oscar.
Oscar. I'm gonna go start Magic. Bench Isaiah cut. There you go. I'm gonna cut.
Oh.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Hey, but this is my question. I got for both of y'all. Like Lexie, you done been in the league a year or two. You got to, you done got a couple checks under your belt now. Like I know what I did when I first got my money at 19 years old. I was like, bling blow. You know what I'm saying? so what did you do when you got, you got some checks and you was like, okay, I can.
This ain't Pop's money. This is my money.
Yeah, this is like if you like Prince of Kings, she got her own money.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do when you got a little change? What you went and picked up?
We were on a road trip in Chicago, so we were in Connecticut. So
Chi-Town, she the right city to do something nice.
So I got maybe 1 or 2 checks already, and there was just nothing to do or buy in Connecticut.
Hit that Magnificent Mile on Michigan Avenue now. Okay.
In Chicago, I called me an Uber, and I went to the Gucci store.
Ooh,
and I got a belt and some sneakers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was her little splick splash right
That's what
there.
I got. I was very excited.
Okay, Pops. You was 19th pick overall. You know what I'm saying? You in the 90s. I don't know if you got a 4-finger ring or a big rope or something. What did you do, Pops? You know what I'm saying? In the 90s, early 90s. What you did? Did you get a 5.0? What you did? Like, man, this what happened.
The 5.0 wasn't out yet, but you know what I did get? I don't know if you remember this show. There's a show called Spencer for Hire.
I definitely remember that.
You know, the black dude, the bald head dude named Hawk.
Yeah.
He had this white car. It was a BMW 635 CSI. And it was like, I said, man, if I get some money, that's the first car.
Yeah.
It wasn't brand new. I didn't care. It was used, but it was like it had like 6,000 miles on it. And it was red with some gold BBSs on it.
Ooh,
and a house phone.
Oh, and
house phone in there. Oh.
You like Nino them in the Jeep.
With the car connected to
I was like, hey, I don't care. $2 a minute, I'm on it. So that was it, boy. To get that car and then turn that phone on and be a call like your family while driving in 1990.
They weren't doing that back then. You couldn't do that back then.
Oh, nobody was doing that back then.
No, you couldn't do that back then.
That was elite status right there.
Had the wire in the back of the window. So
Yeah.
All that. Oh,
that's before your time, Lex. That's before your time.
You know? My age right now.
She's sitting here like, what are they talking about?
Another question too. You done coached on the NBA level and the WNBA level. Like, is it too much a difference in between? Like, what was different and what was alike?
The best thing, and I always tell Lexie this all the time, I enjoy my time coaching WNBA more because I can do more teaching. Like teaching and coaching is 2 different things. And I love to teach. So on WNBA level, I loved it because I could teach. The game is played below the rim. So you got to teach fundamentals, footwork, how to come off screens, how to help on defense, how to read defenses. So Lexie was my first quote unquote guinea pig on how to teach the game.
She's the project.
Yeah, she's the project. Just kind of like teaching from square one. But as far as teaching the game, every concept that I learned playing for 12 years in the NBA, I brought to the WNBA. Because the one thing that the ladies told me, don't treat us like women. Treat us like athletes. Treat us like basketball players. Don't dumb me down.
Yeah.
We can hoop. We want to hoop.
At what point did you know or did you figure out that you wanted to go into the front office after your experiences? Obviously, you had already retired, and now you had experience in coaching, both, like you say, NBA and WNBA. What let you know, or when did you know you wanted to give it a try in the front office?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think just my trajectory in coaching. I was an assistant coach for a lot of years for a couple of NBA teams. Head coach in the WNBA. I was a head coach back then the D League. So I was a head coach at all different levels. And then I got more into the player development part because that's what I kind of cut my teeth in of, again, teaching players in the gym, pre-practice, post-practice, pre-game, things like that. So as I got, further into my, obviously, post-NBA career, I kind of understood the importance of the player development, not just for on the court, but off the court. I want to mentor men. I want to do a better job of not just being there when they need me to rebound and pass, but be there and help them grow of life after basketball. I've just felt I have more to give than just, teaching them on the court. I wanted to make sure that when they left any environment I was in, they'll be not just become better basketball players, better men, better fathers, better husbands, better siblings. Yeah. That was, to me, the most important thing, man. That's why I want to spend more time and transition to the front office off the court.
Man, I definitely salute you on that because we know, being in the league that we need more people in positions of power with that line of thinking and with those traits. And then you relatable as well. You one of us. So that's perfect, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Me and Q got the Clippers winning the championship this year. How do you feel about the quarantine and how you feel like the Clippers looking coming into this quarantine season?
Well, again, we're kind of going in we're catching a little fire. Made some trades. Got Marcus Morris in a trade. Then we signed Reggie Jackson, and then we had just picked up
Joakim
Noah. He's gonna be great for us. Kawhi and PG, obviously. You got Trez coming off the bench. Lou Williams, Pat Beverly. We got them dogs
locked and loaded.
You got them dogs.
Yeah, and you got a championship coach, Doc Rivers. Been there and done that before. Know how to coach, superstar players and take a team to the championship. So we was disappointed initially, like every NBA team, but us, just because we felt like, man, this is the year that we can kind of, the Clippers, and again, y'all part of the Clippers, folklore and bringing attention to the team when it was, like nobody wanted to be a Clipper, but y'all got there. All the narrative changed, which was, kudos and praise to you guys for doing that. Because you're as much as a part of the success of the team now, just because you made sure that the Clipper brand was still relevant. People want to watch y'all play in hoops. So, we just wanted, as an organization, do right by the guys that played before us. And we still got, we got a chance. It's back on again. Got 8 games, and then the playoffs start up after that. So. It's going to be different because no fans.
Very.
It's just, can you imagine not playing without fans? I guess that's like going to one of our G League games, but. But, we'll figure it out after that. But, everybody's on the citizen. There's no home court advantage. It's going to be different. And I honestly don't think, say we win the championship, that's what we're fighting for. I hope it's not an asterisk next to it. I don't want it to be an asterisk next to the Clippers championship.
Don't worry about it. Back to back. We back to back. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go back to back.
This is my take on the whole asterisk by it. I think if you want to say if somebody gonna try and shortchange the championship, so to speak, saying it's an asterisk, I think you could put an asterisk to say this harder because nobody has ever had to come and play out of these type of situations. Like no matter no matter the lockouts or anything, we always had access to hooping and gyms and playing. Like they've been shut down for 3.5, 4 months with no bump, no working out against each other, no hooping against no pickup games, no none of that. So like this to me is gonna be one of the hardest fought championships to win. Period. No matter who wins it, it's like you take your hat off to the guy to every sport. Every team that goes out and is able to achieve the championship because this is the most extraneous, unforeseen circumstances that the world has ever seen, period. Not just the country, not just the NBA, like the world. Like
I seen something on y'all where y'all talked about police brutality. You have a teammate that's a Hall of Famer, probably one of the best players to ever, not probably, but is one of the best players to ever play the game, to completely just stop her career and really focus on police reform and, you know, talk about the police brutality, talk about these guys that can't get out of jail and they didn't even do the crime. Like, how is that to have a teammate? I know when you got there, he's like, oh, I want to play with Maya more. And it's like, oh, she doing that? But now it's at the point where everybody opened their eyes and they respect what she doing even more.
I mean, when she first started doing that, I thought it was amazing. In that season, right before she left, like we were all talking about, because that was my rookie year, we were all talking about how like she just didn't have that fire in her anymore. Like she was still one of the best players in the league, but like you could just tell like there was something missing in her heart. And you could see it on the court. So when me personally, because I was watching, you know, I pay attention to things. I was like, I wasn't surprised that that happened because I knew that her heart and mind was somewhere else. I thought it was amazing what she did, and she kind of just slid out, like just did it.
Yeah.
Like she didn't announce it. She kind of just had to talk with the organization and our coaches, and she's like, "This is just something I need to do," and it's something she's been dealing with and working on since she's been in high school. She's known this man since she was in high school, and actually, what's today? I think he got out of prison today. That's what the coach told me. So I think he's out now today. So when all this other stuff started happening, you know, there was not one part of me thought she was going to come back and play, like not even a little bit. So now that she's accomplished that, which is what she wanted to do, now I'm actually excited to see, you know, what she's doing, like what's the next step, because you know she was doing this 2 years ago. And now she doesn't have, you know, the pushback from the athletic community, the professional sports community. Like, why would you leave? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Now you got people following her lead.
Yeah.
So I'm like just really happy that she was able to do that for her friend. I would love for her to come back. Definitely. I just want one season with her. That's all. Just one.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. We definitely respect what she's doing, and man, so proud of her for even doing that, because that's big. Something you loved your whole life. You learn to love, and it's like, man, you letting it go for a cause that's even bigger than you.
Right.
She was at the top of the game.
Yeah.
She was one of them at the top of the game.
There's like literally, there's not one more thing she can accomplish.
Truly.
She's at every level. She's won everything. Like, truly. So I'm like, you know, I get it. You know, sometimes you're just like, I need to do something that, you know, is bigger than myself. And, you know, we're here waiting for her if she's ever ready to come back. You know, I'm pretty sure she's guaranteed a spot on this team no matter what.
You know that, don't
you? Yeah.
Lexie, for you, how does it feel to have such a cool dad?
Cool. Nah. It's cool. I remember when I was little in elementary school, I would bring her his little cards to school and hand them out to people.
The trading cards.
Hey guys, it's my dad. You want me to get it signed? I mean, it's whatever. So I've always been super proud to have him as a dad. And my favorite part about him is that as successful and incredible as he is, he never minds just to like step back.
Yeah.
You know, kind of let us do our thing, whether it's me or my sisters or my brother, like whatever path we all have chosen to take. He's always been super supportive, never made it about himself. And it's a blessing to have, you know, a dad like that in your life.
That's what's up. That's how I got too.
The crazy part about that now, because like when she was growing up and I would be at the games, you know, they're like, oh, that's Dee Brown's daughter. Now I go with her, so that's Lexie Brown dad.
Yeah, that's Lexie Brown dad.
Yeah, her own dad now. I'm the hanger on now. So that's Lexie Brown dad. They don't know who I am. It's crazy. So I'm proud of her, you know. Listen, we all got kids.
I have to ask this one last question before we let y'all go, because like obviously once, you know, everything that happened with Kobe and Gianna, the whole, you know, girl dad thing became, you know, popular and a phenomenon. But this is obviously nothing new to you. You've been that. And the same way I asked her, you know, how does it feel to have such a cool dad? For you, how proud are you to have such a cool daughter and successful daughter that's taking up basketball like you? And like you said, this is your this is your project that you got to teach, and from day one. Like, how does that make you feel as a father to be able to see her go out and do what she's doing?
Yeah, I mean, very proud. Like any of your kids, whatever they want to do, never forced her to play basketball. She just kind of kind of gravitated to it by me being around it all the time. When Kobe and Gigi passed away, the whole girl dad thing became a little tighter for us because all the stuff that Kobe was starting to do with her, we already did already. Like we did, they're going to the AU games, and me being her coach when she was 12 years old, and being in the gym and taking her to the NBA games, and her being on the sideline as a WNBA coach. So it was so sad that I felt for the family more than anything, but I felt that the experience I felt, like we talk about right now, this experience right now, for me and her to be talking about our lives in basketball and our process together, those who would never get a chance to do that. Like that part hurt me so much because I know the ups and downs, but I know the gratification part. And this is it right now, to be able to talk about it. And we have her, across the world, across the country, doing her thing, and me just being proud of her. Like, that to me is the most satisfying thing because she's been, number one, really good at what she does. Two degrees at Duke, all American, but she's a better big sister. Like she's got siblings that follow her, another daughter, a younger sister going to play basketball at Wayne and Mary, a younger brother who think he's nice, but he be kicking his butt. So that's what you want. That's what you want your daughter to do. Your oldest. The oldest got to carry the torch for the rest of the kids.
Lead by example.
Man, this has been super dope, super awesome. This is a first-time situation for us here at the Knuckleheads. Me and D Miles appreciate y'all, Dee and Lexie, for gracing us with y'all presence. This was dope.